Hi guys, welcome back to my channel English in a Blink, and today I'm going to show you how to add emphasis to your sentence. Yes, I know it's very easy when you are, when you're speaking in your spoken English, it's very easy peasy. If you want to add emphasis, you can show it with your intonation, your stress, but when you are writing that, how exactly do you make your sentences emphatic? Well, with negative adverbial expressions, yes, with your inversions. So when you want to add a little bit more drama to your sentence, okay, that's when you use them. And how do you form them? Well, that's why I'm here. That's what I'm going to show you. So without wasting time, let's go. Okay, so starting with when and how to do it. So to invert a sentence, guys, you have to move the adverbial to the beginning of the sentence and invert the subject and the auxiliary verb. Too much? Okay, so look here. Like this is like a normal sentence. I had never seen something so beautiful. Okay. And now this sentence, when you're talking about adding emphasis with your negative adverbial expressions, becomes you start your sentence with never. Okay. So never had I seen something so beautiful. Okay. So you start with never and then you invert. So had comes first, followed by your subject, I. So never had I seen something so beautiful. When you want to stress about the fact that you've never seen something so beautiful, that is what you want to emphasize. She won't often walk to work. That becomes not often will she walk to work. Okay, so this is how you form your, emphatic, this is how you make them emphatic. This is how you form your emphatic sentences, when you're adding your negative adverbial phrases. So like it says over here, notice that if the auxiliary verb is negative in the first sentence, it becomes affirmative in the inverted sentence and the not moves to the front. Okay, so this was your, like here, she won't often walk to work. So negative, that is your not, it is moved at the start. Okay, and not often, and this your won't, which is your will, negative of will, then negative becomes your positive. So not often will she walk to work. And this is how you make it into emphatic sentence. All right, that's when you want to sound, you want to stress on the fact that this is how it is. All right, so that's when you do it, and that's how you do it. So once again, if you look at this, she won't often walk to work. So this, you have your will not. Okay, so if like this is the contraction, but if I'll read like this, she will not often walk to work, that becomes not often will she walk to work. So like I wrote over here, that you have to notice that auxiliary verb, if it is negative, so then you make it into the verb becomes positive, and not, it moves at the start. Okay. Then, in cases where the tense does not use an auxiliary verb in the affirmative, such as the present simple or past simple, we must add one. And what do I mean by that? So look at this sentence, which is in present simple. I rarely travel. Okay, so as you can see, no auxiliary verb here, just your main. So then what we do? This will come at the start, and then we will add our auxiliary do. Rarely do, I travel. Okay, so we need I here. Oopsies. So rarely do I travel. Okay, similarly here in the next one, they don't ever know what to eat. That becomes never do they know what to eat. Okay, so you understand, in your present simple, when you don't have any auxiliary, no verb to be, so then we have to add one. And what do we add? We add do, does. So here, like as you can see, inversion is the same. So rarely do I travel, or never do they know what to eat. Okay, so then you start your sentence with your negative adverbial phrase, and then it is followed by your do, does, did, and followed by the subject, and then your verb. Okay, so this is how you form in your present simple. Now notice how the verb changes from past to infinitive. So here, this is your past tense. So like I said, in present and past, this is what you do. He seldom played well. This is your normal sentence, which becomes seldom did he play well. Okay, so just like your question form. So when you have your question, when you're making questions with did, verb is going to be an infinitive. Same way when you are emphasizing, all right, when you're using them for emphasis, exactly the same way. So seldom did he play well. They never went to the amusement park, and that becomes never did they go to the amusement park. All right, people. So you understand, you bring your adverb at the start, followed by your verb, which is your auxiliary, do, does, did, and then comes your subject, and then comes the verb. And again, when it is past, the verb is going to be in the infinitive form. Okay, so some negative or limiting adverbial requires you to complete a whole clause before the inversion takes place. So again, explaining with an example, I didn't know what to do until I saw what had happened. It becomes, not until I saw what had happened did I know what to do. Okay, so like it says over here, in this case, not until I saw what happened is the adverbial clause, and the inversion takes place after this in the main clause. Okay, so not until I saw what happened. This is your adverbial clause already. So what you're going to do is you're going to make the inversion in the main clause. So you say, not until I saw what happened did I know what to do. Okay, and hardly puts the inversion in the adverbial clause. It uses than and when to connect with the main clause. So when you have your hardly, you use your than or when so that you can connect it. So hardly had I got home, then the dog started barking. Hardly had he got into the bath when the phone rang. So when you have your hardly, you use it with then or when so that you can connect it to the adverbial, to the main clause. Okay, so you use them together. And one thing which, there are certain problems or mistakes that you make most of the time. So I want you to remember not being able to invert the subject and the verb. So one very common mistake is, as you can see here, never before I have done something stupid. What's wrong here? What haven't you done? You did not invert. So how would you write? Never before have I done something stupid. Okay, so you don't make that mistake when you are making your sentence emphatic. You are starting with a negative adverbial clause. So then what you have to do is invert. Again, another incorrect version. So such a mistake is often committed when inversion is made in the main clause upon forming a subordinate clause with the negative adverbial in some sentences. So like here, if you see, only when I had left the building, I noticed I didn't have my car keys with me. This is not right. Okay, so look here, only when I had left the building did I notice I didn't have my car keys. So guys, when you are reading a sentence, all right, so if it is confusing for you, like where do I need to make my inversion? Think of it like that. So how are you going to do it when you are going to be speaking? Where exactly are you going to emphasize? And then probably make your judgments, okay? All right, so that brings us to the end of this lesson, and I'm sure you know how to add a little drama to your sentences now. If you like the video, don't forget to like and press the subscribe button. Until we meet next time, bye for now.